Hey guys, so today we're going to be unboxing this Hurricane King in the box. Surname of Wang Chuqing, and that's Wang Chuqing right there. Similar composition as a Hurricane Long. So here's a ball from top table. And then this is some of the specs, you can take a look. We're going to pair it with Hurricane 3 National Blue Sponge Neo. So this one is 2.1 thickness, 40 degree hardness. For the backhand, we're going to try the Dragon Power 55. As usual, using the DHS number 15 water-based glue. For this setup, if I'm not wrong, I used 3 layers of glue on the rubber and 1 on the blade. Weight-wise, the blade is around 92-93 grams and the rubber's a little bit heavier. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off with some forehand drives, blocks and topspins. Today we have Stanley joining us for the review. He's also using a Wang Chuqing with Hurricane on the forehand, but Dignics 09C instead on the backhand. We're alternating the blades to compare the difference because his is a little bit more used. I can feel that my newer blade is very crisp and stiff, very solid feeling. Now it's my turn to topspin. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Nah, just kidding. Nothing beats a well-boosted Hurricane. Because the blade is still very new, it feels much better if you hit harder, but I guess over time the softer shots will feel nice as well. Away from the table, I saw some videos, especially the Chinese, saying that the blade loses power, but in Singapore we don't really have that much big of a space, so this distance is still fine. On the backhand side, the Hurricane Wang definitely feels faster than the Hurricane Long, while not as fast as an outer ALC blade, for example. I find that it strikes a good balance of having that dwell time from the limber outer plies while still having good speed on the ball. The Dragon Power is also really good at gripping the ball, and Stanley noted that the shots had good spin. The boosted Dragon Power definitely feels bouncy and lively on the backhand side. Trying out the Dignics 09C, it definitely feels more precise. I want to say controlled, but it doesn't mean that it's slower. I feel like the trajectory is a bit more direct and it grips the ball sharper. Now I'm trying the Dragon Power on the backhand. It's very bouncy, it bites the ball pretty deeply, but I also feel that the trajectory is pretty high and deep, so I have to use a shorter and more compact movement. In my opinion though, I feel like this rubber shines from the middle to far away distance, because the further you go, it feels like the sponge has a lot more to offer. Switching over to the Dignics 09C, you can see that close to table, definitely the arc is shorter and the shots are more direct. That's not to say that away from table it's not good, just that you have to be more consistent in adding the power into your shots. Lobbing on the ball was not bad. Again, we don't have much space to work with, but the blade's stiffness helps to place the ball nicely. And also good power when away from the table. A simple 2-2 exercise to try out the transitioning of this racket. The blade is pretty head heavy and the overall weight is quite high, so I had a bit of difficulty adjusting in the beginning. But if you're able to get in position, I believe the shot quality can be pretty high. I would say Stanley's blade was a little bit lighter, making it easier in the transitions, and also Dignics 09C feels a little bit more controlled. On the backhand block, the solid feeling of the blade and the catapult of the sponge makes a very good combination. Dragon Power 55. I think you can observe that the shots from the 09C are a little bit shorter, but also more precise, and I feel it's like more laser-like than the Dragon Power, which gives me a bit more confidence to add quality into the blocks. Now we're trying the backspin open up. Although slightly slower on the dueler shots, the Dragon Power has a slightly fuller arc and a deeper placing than the Dignics. Dignics. So we were discussing what the difference is. I feel like I can confidently add more power into the shot with the 09C, whereas with the Dragon Power, if I hit hard, it feels like it's less precise.
Dragon Power.
And if I go slower, definitely the Dragon Power grips better. Now we're trying some backhand flicks. The Dragon Power sponge definitely bites the ball really well, and there's a lot of good grip on the top sheet, allowing for good coupling with the ball and very good spin. Again, I wouldn't say which rubber is better or worse, it just depends on your style. As you can see, the Dignics is definitely sharper and more direct if you can apply the shot. Stanley mentioned that some players might prefer the higher draw time of the Dragon Power. Now onto the short game. So as expected, the inner carbon blade has good control close to the table. Definitely with the Hurricane, the forehand side is alright. Dragon Power, I would say, is a little bit more bouncy than the Dignics 09C. Which brings us to the next part, which is the forehand flick, which I believe is a strong point of this blade. It's a little bit harder and stiffer than a Hurricane Long 5, which helps with the speed, while still having much more dwell time than an ALC or ZLC blade, for example. And not to forget, of course, the superior Hurricane flicking ability. On the backhand quick countertop spin, the Dragon Power is pretty sensitive to spin, so you have to be very controlled on your angles. Whereas the Dignics somehow just bites onto the ball and is more sharper with the trajectory. And that brings us to the end of this review. Feel free to let us know what you think in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. YouTube videos, due to their length and quality, usually take longer to edit, so every view, like, share and subscribe is appreciated. Thank you for joining us today. For more regular content, follow me on Instagram, and see you in the next one.